Hello everyone, welcome back to Which is the Moon. I am your Monday host Natalie, and this week is week 13 of season 12. This week we are discussing moon phases and different types of moon magic. Now, I'm going to tell you all straight up front, you might hear some barking in the background. I got 5 of the 7 dogs in here with me, and the old lady's kind of in a cranky mood. So, don't give me that look, Roxy. Ooh, she's giving me the ojo malana. It's true, you've been in a cranky mood. You've been kind of barking at me all day. Anyway, so if there's barking in the background, just know up ahead that, I apologize for that. Anyhow, moon phases and moon magic, a topic that has been done to death in witchcraft. However, for people who are new to the craft or are looking for different ideas, that's what we're going to cover this week. For myself, I'm going to focus my video on one specific time of the moon phase. It's the time that I find I do the most magic, and that would be the time of the dark moon. Now, a lot of people use the terms dark moon and new moon interchangeably. They're not actually the same thing. So let me explain the difference for those who may not be as familiar with the terms or are confused, because people do use those terms interchangeably. The dark moon is specifically the time that's marked on the calendar as the new moon. It's not actually the new moon. That is the dark moon. That's when there is no moon visible in the sky. That is the dark moon. The new moon, technically speaking, is that first little sliver of moonlight that you see following the dark moon. The dark moon is sacred to the goddess Morrigan, who is the one that I work with. So she is the deity that I align myself with, and all of my working comes from. I consider myself a daughter of the Morrigan. And so for that, I will call upon her power often during that time to help me with various different spells. Now, depending on your intent, really you could do magic anytime at all. Moon phase helps, but like anything else in the craft, it's a tool. Because believe me, if your intent and your focus is strong enough, it's not going to matter what the moon phase is, your magic is going to happen. But as we like to have lots of tools and things to help us align our power, the new moon is a time when I choose to do that. He always waits till I'm doing videos to decide he wants to be up on my lap. So anyhow, the dark moon specifically is good for doing, and did I say the new moon was sacred to Morrigan? The dark moon is sacred to the Morrigan. I'm sorry. I'm using those terms interchangeably now, and they are not. The dark moon is a time that is sacred to the Morrigan. Dark moon magic usually focuses on things that you want to do away with in your life. So if you're working on a spell to improve your confidence, you would want to do a spell to put an end to doubt in yourself at that point in time, right? Not the confidence itself, but the doubt. So that makes way for the new. I also find that road opening spells work very well at the dark moon, because to me, the dark moon signals the beginning of the new cycle, right? So it's the end of the old, beginning of the new. Every ending is a new beginning. So you can do magic that is for bringing something new. You just have to be careful how you word it and focus it, because what you're wanting to do is put an ending to the old, starting to the new. So I will do a lot of road opening spells that this new path is now beginning because the old path has ended. So that is one of the things that I really love to do at the time of the dark moon. The dark moon is also a time when I will do any kind of maledictive working, or like return to sender works, things like that. I find that they work very well during that time as well, because you're drawing on the power of the darkness, right? The fact that there is no light in the dark. So if you are wanting to do a spell that will hide something, if you're trying to minimize something, do like an invisibility spell. And I'm going to explain that a little bit better, because I think people are deceived by the term invisibility spell. They think it's like Harry Potter and the invisibility cloak. That's not it at all. But I find that invisibility spells do very well during the time of the dark moon. And what that is an invisibility spell is a spell where you are trying to blend your aura with something in order to make yourself less noticeable to those around you. So, for example, if you are having to go to say a meeting and you're in a class and you didn't really study up very well the night before, you might do an invisibility spell so that you don't get called on to ask questions or answer questions in the class. You know, you're just kind of blending your aura so that they see you, but they don't pay attention to you. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. But that's really what an invisibility spell is. You're making yourself virtually invisible. So I find that those kinds of workings work very well at the new moon. I'm sorry, the dark moon. The dark moon is also a time for planting new seeds that you wish to grow in terms of your intuition, because it is the time when the intuition is most fertile. Think about it this way. When there is no moon in the sky, there is no light at night, right? So you're in a form of sensory deprivation. Sensory deprivation helps to heighten your other senses, right? It makes you more sensitive to touch, to your intuition. So dark moon magic, I find, is a perfect time for scrying, specifically candle or crystal scrying. I really love to use Lucille during that time, because I find that I get my most potent visions at that point in time. And that can relate to any topic that you're wanting intuition or insight about. So if you have some spells that aren't going the way you think they ought to go, that would be a good time to scry for the reason. That sort of thing. I also find that the dark moon is a good time to put an ending to things that are no longer serving me. So I will often do spells to do away with things that no longer serve me at that time. So, excuse me, any kind of termination spell or anything like that works very well at that time as well. I'm sorry, my hair is just, I do not know what is up with it. I washed it yesterday with a new shampoo, and good golly, Miss Molly, it's just looking a hot mess. So, yeah, whatever. Sorry, guys. This is me. I look like Medusa. All right. So anyhow, I find that that kind of magic works very well during the moon phase of the dark moon as well. I use the dark moon time to do magic related to the Morrigan, or to not just to honor her, but if I'm calling upon her help specifically, I will definitely use the dark moon as that time, because again, that's a time that is aligned with her naturally. I also find that a good time to do like mirror box spells or return to sender spells. The dark moon's a really good time for that, because that is that point at which they are most keen to being seen, or again, your intuition is heightened. So those spells are going to work particularly potently during that time, because those people are going to be forced to kind of see themselves a little bit better. Excuse me one moment. Okay, little man. Your sharp little talons have got to stop. Okay. Sorry about that. I love the little guy, but he never wants to sit on my lap except when I'm doing a video. And I'm wearing shorts right now, and he has got the sharpest little talons. So he's over here like doing this on my leg. It's highly distracting. So he's going to go in his little bed for a while. Okay, so dark moon magic is also a good time to do anything that is protective, because you're doing away with bad influences. When you're doing a protection spell during the dark moon, I will tell you that you want to make sure that you're not focusing on something new per se, like starting up something. Wait for the first sliver of the new moon for that. What you're wanting to look at is stopping or doing some sort of prevention, putting a stop to or an ending to anything negative getting into your home. I hope that makes sense. See, now I'm all distracted. My brain's all blah, 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 because I've got to actually go out and see patients today. Speaking of, I hope that all of you all are staying safe. I meant to preface my video with that. Please, 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 if you have to go outside your home for any reason, wear a mask. Some sort of covering. There's lots of videos right now on how to make one. No sewing required. I saw one with a bandana. Something is better than nothing. And it's not just for you, but for you to protect the people that you're around as well. I am working on sewing some masks, but of course elastic's been in short supply. Harold found me some on eBay. Not Etsy, eBay. He found some on eBay and I'm waiting for it to come in, but I've got about 25 or 30 masks cut and ready to go. Those are going to go to some of the people that I work with, some of the contracts that I have, and then the rest are going to the 2 local fire departments. We've got 2 fire departments that are literally right down the road from each other, but I'm going to take them over there and they can distribute them to whomever they think needs them. But anyway, the dark moon, I must tell you this. The dark moon is also the time which I have been using for trying to work my COVID-19 magic to get rid of this godforsaken virus that's taking such a horrible toll, not just on the death toll itself, which has been pretty horrific, but, and I do realize you don't have to lecture me on mathematics. I understand that 200,000 people, which is what they're predicting, may die just in the United States from this virus, is only 0.000617% of the total population in the U.S., but 200,000 people is still an entire city. Do you realize that? Excuse me! Do you realize that? That's an entire city full of people. And, you know, those lives are still people's loved ones, you know, husbands, wives, children's, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, uncles, you know, friends. So, you know, every life is precious in my book. Every life is precious. You know, I have been using the dark moon as a time to try to work some magic to put a stop to the virus. And I think that that's a really good time to do it. Anytime following the full moon, diminishing kind of magic, you can use it for things like that. So if there is an illness that's affecting your home, the dark moon is a good time to do magic to put an end to that illness and start a healthier life. Same thing with bad habits. If you have a bad habit that you're trying to get rid of, if you're trying to lose weight or control your eating, and you're doing some spell work, remember, at least in my opinion, a spell is nothing but an amped up prayer, right? It's something you're asking the universe for. We're using tools to help amp that prayer up to the universe in terms of herbs and candles and all of that stuff. But at the same time, it's effectively, it's a prayer. You're asking the powers that be, whether it's the universe or just the universal energies, or if you believe in a deity. I personally believe in a male and female energy, but known to us by different names and different aspects, right? Which is why each culture calls it something different. Some people are atheistic. They don't believe in anything like that, but they know that there's a greater power. Okay, fine. That's still kind of a deity, not so. Or we're generating the powers, right? So anything like that, it's really just kind of a prayer you're putting out there to whatever be the greater thing. So that is a really good time for doing that kind of, what is up with my hair? That kind of magic. So the dark moon is really good for the planting the seeds of something new to grow during the next phase, or to put an ending to something that you are wanting to do away with. So if you are wanting to do away with bad habits, the dark moon is a good time to put an end to those habits and plant the seeds for new habits to form, which are healthier in nature. So perhaps you're wanting to make a lifestyle change. It's going to take a conscious effort, right? Because here's my opinion. And again, this is my opinion, but this is also based on my experience and my wisdom as an older woman who has been doing this for some time now. But the way you have to look at it is that no spell does anything without some form of action on your part to support it. So, for example, if you're wanting to get a new job and you're casting a new job spell or an opportunity spell, it's not going to do you any good if you're not out there looking for a job, right? If you're not out there putting out your resume or trying to get interviews, that spell's not going to work because you're not putting the action with the prayer, right? Okay, so anyway, I find that kind of magic works really well at the dark moon. Again, you need to be careful how you focus your intent and what you say. So when it comes to doing dark moon magic, your wording has to be such that you are trying to put an end to one thing in order to open the path to something else. So, for example, let's take the example of wanting to end a bad habit. Say you like to eat a lot of chips and junk food. So you're wanting to put an ending to your cravings for junk food and open yourself to new, healthier foods, right? So you're going to plant the seed in your own mind using the power of the dark moon that you are putting an end to the bad habit of buying a bunch of junk food or eating junk food that's available to you and making a healthier choice, such as buying more fresh fruits and vegetables, right? To have them in your home. Creating your own chips based on fresh fruits and vegetables, because you can slice zucchini and make zucchini chips by just sprinkling a little bit of sea salt, or even garlic salt. Gives it a little flavor, but it's a lot healthier, right? Drizzle a little bit of olive oil on there and bake them in the oven. It doesn't take long, and you can make yourself a big bunch of them. But there you go. Same thing with your potato chips. You can make yourself a healthier potato chip by baking them in the oven yourself, because you control how much salt and oil goes into those chips, right? So you're opening your mind to something that is going to seep into the subconscious and therefore move into the conscious, because subconsciously, the next time you go to the store, the power of that spell is working in your subconscious mind to tell you, don't buy this, do buy this, right? But you also need to make a conscious effort to put it on your list. Chips, none. We're going to buy carrots, we're going to buy celery, we're going to buy this, we're going to buy that, right? So I find that the dark moon is a really good time to say, I will put an end to these bad eating habits to open the door for something new during the thing. And then you would continue that working during the subsequent moon phases. I know this video has been a bit rambly and kind of disjointed, and I really do apologize. It was my intent to film this video over the weekend, but now that Harold is working in a Monday through Friday job, it seems that he does not want me to do anything on Saturday or Sunday but sit and watch TV with him, which honestly I find infinitely boring. TV just bores me out the wazoo. There's very few shows that I find, and frankly, all that's on TV, it seems anymore, is a bunch of reruns. But it's not giving me the opportunity to do my podcast or to film my videos, so I'm having to do them Monday morning, and that always leaves me a little kerflummoxed. So I might try filming on tomorrow for next week, simply because now that I'm not seeing as many clients during the day, I'm actually finding a little more free time during the week than I used to have. So I am hopeful that that will be it. Thank you so very much for watching, and, please leave your comments or your ideas, suggestions in the comments below. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please stay safe and blessed be.